audible and visible? This is your Aditi Mam. Let me know if I am audible and visible properly. Fast, come on guys. We will start this session very soon and it will be going to be a very interesting, because I have got you so many questions, since all of you were very worried about the questions, right? So let me know if I am audible and visible so that we can start the questions. Okay, before that we will do a little bit of revision, okay, of all the organelles that are present in the cell, of all the structure that you can see here that is present inside the cell, right? So after that we have so many questions for you. I have so many questions for you and you will love that. Okay, let me know if I am audible and visible properly. Okay, yep. Okay, great. So everyone, today's chapter we are going to look into the cell. Okay, we are going to dive down into the cell and see what all is floating there inside it, right? Nucleus, endoplasmic reticulum, Golgi apparatus, and we have so many other organelles. What are organelles? These are structures that are floating around in cytoplasm. Ma'am, what is cytoplasm? If you revised the channel, you can go watch my one shot. Okay, I have explained it thoroughly in that just 1.5 hour, 1 hour of session, I guess. So you can go check that out, but in today we will revise this complete session. Okay, hi Joseph, how are you doing? Okay, now we will be starting with the structure of the cell. Basically we know cell can be of any shape. We studied that, right? Now in basic we'll just take for now it's of spherical shape. Okay, it's of round shape, spherical shape basically. Now the boundary of the cell, I have few questions for you guys and you keep on telling me the answer to that and then we'll move on to the questions. Okay, I have few questions, you keep on answering and we'll move to the questions. Okay, now the very first question is, what is the boundary of the cell? Which part of the cell is called the security guard of the cell? Let me know first, which part of the cell is called the security guard of the cell, or it is called the boundary of the cell? It lets the stuff enters into the cell. It lets the stuff like food, like oxygen, some other bad things like pizza and kurkure. Ma'am, it directly goes into our cells. No, but the energy from those food did go into the cell, right? So what is that called? That thing that is the boundary of the cell, that is your, Joseph is saying plasma membrane. Very good. Joseph is correct. So actually that thing is called plasma membrane. So this green color thing, can you see this green color part is called plasma membrane. Done? It is also called one more thing. You are giving two answers, Joseph. Give me one answer. These two are very different. Plasma membrane and cell wall, these are very different things. Any other person who wants to tell if plasma membrane is the correct choice, is the cell wall is the correct choice? Okay, so actually Joseph, plasma membrane was the correct answer. You gave the right answer. Trust yourself, bacha. Okay, so this is plasma membrane. This is also called one more name. Can you tell me that? This is also called one more name. What is that? Plasma membrane is also called what? It's also called, I'll tell you, it's also called my selectively permeable membrane. It's also called selectively permeable membrane. Because why? Because it selects, basically it selects the food which it can let enter into the cell and exit out of the cell, right? Yes Kapil, ask your doubt, bacha. Okay, until then we have the next question, which is the outer layering of the cell. Which is the outer layering of the cell? What do I need to explain, Kapil? What do you want me to explain? Plasma membrane. Okay, wait. Plasma membrane. Let me know. Is plasma membrane, do you want me to explain, or unless give me the answer? Selectively permeable. Very good, Joseph. Very good. Great. Now, the next question I have. Why is it not refreshing? Yes. Okay. The next question I have for you people, which is the outer layering of the plasma membrane. Which is the outer layering of the plasma membrane? I'll give you a hint. It is dead. The outer layering of the plasma membrane is dead. It is not present in animal cell. What is this? What is that? It's called, it's the actual answer that Joseph gave after the plasma membrane. That is your cell wall. Okay, so cell wall, bacha, is actually the outer covering of the plasma membrane, which is what? This yellow color part you see, right? This yellow color part, it is called cell wall, and it is only present in plant cells, right? Or bacteria or yeast, right? But it is not present in animal cells, right? Do you know what is the name of the cell wall of a plant? What is the name of the cell wall of the plant cells? It is called what? It is called, okay, we'll see about everything. So for bacteria, bacha, it is called peptidoglycan. Just leave it. Peptidoglycan. And for plant, it is called, okay, where we have this. So for plants, bacha, the cell wall is called cellulose. For bacteria, it is peptidoglycan. For fungi, it is chitin. And in animals like you and me, we don't have cell walls. Done. So we are done with cell walls. Okay, next question, everyone. Get ready. Which is the brain of the cell? Which cell organelle is the brain of the cell that coordinates growth, that coordinates all the functions, that coordinates all the cell division activities? What is the name of the control center, the brain of the cell? What is that? Okay, ma'am. Yes. Okay. Now let me know what is the name of the control center or brain of the cell, which helps in cell division, which helps in growth. The hint is it contains DNA. It contains DNA, but only in eukaryotic cells. Okay. Now, what is the name of that particular cell organelle? Will not call that cell organelle. What is the name? Yes, correct. That is nucleus. So in our cell, bacha, there is present a nucleus. This nucleus, right? It contains DNA, which contains the information like the shape of my thumb, like the color of my eyes, right? All these information is contained inside the nucleus, inside the DNA. Nahi bacha, it is, what is the brain of the cell, I asked? That is nucleus. Endoplasm is different. Okay, the brain of the cell is nucleus. Done. Now, okay, next question. What is the organelle? Let's go to cell organelles. Which cell organelle is actually present outside the nucleus, just outside the nucleus? That is what? That is endoplasmic reticulum, right? And its main function is what? This, you can see this weird looking structure right outside the nucleus. This bacha is called our endoplasmic reticulum, and its basic structure is to produce protein and lipids for our cell. Okay. Hi Rashita, how are you? We are having a rapid fire round, everyone. So whoever is joining new, answer me very fast. Okay. Okay, so we are done with plasma membrane, cell wall, nucleus, endoplasmic reticulum. Now you tell me what are the two types of endoplasmic reticulum. First, we have two types of endoplasmic reticulum. One is SCR, another is RER. What is the definition? What is the full form of SCR and RER? Quick everyone, quick. what is the two types of endoplasmic reticulum that helps in the synthesis of protein, it helps in the synthesis of lipids. What is that called? That bacha is called smooth endoplasmic reticulum and rough endoplasmic reticulum. We have two types of endoplasmic reticulum. One is smooth endoplasmic reticulum and another is rough endoplasmic reticulum. So this is rough endoplasmic reticulum, right? So you see all these structures, these small dots, this is what? This is rough endoplasmic reticulum, right? And this small dots are what? These are ribosomes. These are what, bacha? These are ribosomes which help in the synthesis of protein. Okay, and there is smooth endoplasmic reticulum as well. Then ma'am, what is the function of smooth endoplasmic reticulum? Smooth endoplasmic reticulum actually helps in the function of what? It helps in the synthesis of lipids. Ma'am, what is lipids? So lipids, bacha, is basically fats and hormones. It's the lipids. On smooth endoplasmic reticulum, we have lipids which helps in the synthesis of fats and hormones. Done? Okay, next moving on, we have another question. The next question for all of you is, which of the cell organelle is actually called the suicide bag of the cell? Which of the cell organelle? You have all the names. You just have to tell me which function is matching with which cell organelle. Which cell organelle is called the suicide bag of the cell? Bhavya, ma'am, I don't get it. What Bhavya? Which part did you not get? I'll explain again. Just let me know, okay? Until then, you let me know which cell organelle, which structure of the cell inside the cell. It is called the suicide bag of the cell. What is that? Out of all these, you have all these options: Golgi apparatus, nucleus, DNA, lysosome, plasma membrane, cell wall, cytoplasm, vacuole, mitochondria. What is that? What is the suicide bag of the cell? Okay, great everyone. Just let me know the answer. Fine. Okay, great. Oops. Which is called the suicide bag of the cell? Lysosomes are called the suicide bag of the cells. Why? Because, ma'am, whenever the cell is dead or whenever some part of the cell is dead, let's say mitochondria died, right? So lysosomes give some bad acids and bad, just let's say now digestive juices or something, which kills those already dead organelles, and if the whole cell is dead, it kills the whole cells. Lysosomes. Very good. Hitesh, history. Yes, lysosomes are the suicide bag of the cells. Okay, next question. Everyone ready? Give me a thumbs up. Everyone ready for the next question? Okay, now which of the cell organelle is called the storehouse of the cell? It helps in packaging, it helps in storing the proteins or maybe fats inside the cell so as to transport it later outside the cell. Which cell organelle is the storehouse of the cell? Let me know fast. Golgi apparatus, nucleus, or DNA, or lysosome is done, plasma membrane, cell wall, cytoplasm is done, vacuole or mitochondria. Out of these, which is called the transport house of the cell or which is called the storehouse of the cell? What did you not understand? Okay, yes. So, bacha, okay, let me just quickly explain you. Done. So, this is Golgi apparatus. It is a sac-like structure, okay, stack-like structure like this. Let me show you. This is the actual shape of Golgi apparatus. Now, what its function, beta? This is something it looks like, right? Yes, Golgi, right, Joseph? So, no, not mitochondria. Mitochondria is something else. Done. So, this Golgi apparatus is the storehouse of the cell. It's packaging and shipping center. So what it does, it packages, it modifies, it sorts the proteins that are being made on the lysosomes, remember? So then it helps in transportation, secretion, and this is the exact organelle that produces lysosomes. Lysosomes, you remember the suicide bag of the cells? That is made by Golgi apparatus. Okay, let's move on to the next question. We have, then what is the part of the cell, bacha, that store minerals, that gives the cell its shape? And in plant cells, it occupies 90% of the volume. That is our vacuole. That is what? Our vacuole. So this vacuole in plant cells, it occupies 90% of the cell volume. It is so big, it pushes the nucleus onto the edge of the cell. Okay, but in animal cells, like you, like me, we are also animals, right? In the scientific manner we are. Okay, so in us, vacuoles are so many. Yes, exact, Joseph. Great, great. Dhruv, Joseph, great. Good answers. So in plant cells, it's only one, right? In animal cells, so many vacuoles are present, but the size are smaller. They are not that big. Okay, now the last remaining thing, so we are done with vacuole, which is the powerhouse of the cell. That is the one thing I know all of you remember till now. That is the one thing that I still remember even. Okay, what is that? Which part of the cell is the mitochondria? That is, mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell. Very, very good, Dhruv. Great. So mitochondria is, bacha, it's the powerhouse of the cell and it creates energy for the cell. That means, right? That's the definition of powerhouse of the cell. In which form does it create the energy? Do you guys know? That's a little hard question than usual. Do you guys know in which form? There is a material, there is a name. What is that material, that energy source in which it creates the energy? That is my ATP. Very good. So mitochondria produces energy in the form of ATP, and that is adenosine triphosphate. Done? Okay, great. So basically this was the whole structure. Yes, Joseph, it's adenosine triphosphate, ATP. Okay, mitochondria creates energy in the form of ATP that is then used by us. Okay, mitochondria, it's used powerhouse of the cell because it stores ATP. Yes, great. Okay, study here or you can go watch my one shot as well. Okay, Joseph, it's uploaded on the channel. Okay, great. Now, are all of you ready for some questions now? All of you ready for some questions? Okay, let's see who will give the first answer and the correct answer, right? I am very much looking forward for all of you. Okay, the first question we have is very important. That is what this they can ask you in the exam, right? Which of the following scientists extended the cell theory? Which of the following scientists extended? See the name? Extended the cell theory. Robert Brown, Robert Hooke, Antonio van Leeuwenhoek, or Rudolf Virchow. Okay, Dhruv is ready. Everyone else? Okay, Dhruv, let me know the answer. Robert Brown, Robert Hooke. Robert Hooke, Dhruv is saying. Okay, Marshika is saying D, Rudolf Virchow. Okay, we have two answers. Dhruv is saying Robert Hooke, and we have, what should I write? Marshika. I'm writing your username, right? Marshika is saying D, and we have Robert Brown, another answer. Okay, you guys are just messing with me now, no? Bushran. Sorry. Okay, which is the correct answer? You guys gave 3 answers. Robert Brown. Okay, you have to tell me the right answer. Okay, Joseph is saying Rudolf. Finally, we have 2 votes for Rudolf. Anyone else who wants to give their vote to anybody else? Okay, great. Actually, the question, audience is correct, audience poll is correct. Actual answer is bacha Rudolf Virchow. That is our answer. So it's not Robert Brown, it's not Robert Hooke. See, look at the question carefully. Which one extended cell theory? We already have cell theory, but which one extended it? Right, so for that we have Rudolf Virchow that said omnicellula is cellula, right? That means every cell has came from a pre-existing cell. Understood? Okay, next question. You all still have the time to give me the correct answers. Next question. Let me go to the next question. Okay, next question we have. I have some very good activity for you, but before that, let's just give me some answers for good MCQs. Okay. Now, which cell organelle consists of their own DNA and ribosome? Which cell organelle consists of their own DNA and ribosome? I just came, ma'am, could you please repeat? So basically we just looked at the structure of the cell, okay? Different kind of cell organelles, different kind of structures present in the cell, okay? And that is it, basically just the revision of it. We are directly jumping on to the MCQs. Done? It's a revising session. We already took the live of this chapter before. Okay, we have answers as mitochondria, mitochondria Golgi. Okay, lots of you are saying A, that is mitochondria, and we have Golgi body as well. Okay, so the actual answer is what? Drum rolls. The actual answer is mitochondria. The actual answer, bacha, is mitochondria. Great. Mitochondria and plastids, yeah, but that is not in the option right now. Okay, done everyone? Okay, next great. A, we have A. Jugal, we just started with the MCQs, okay? This is what we are doing, don't worry. Okay, next bacha, we have the next. Okay, liposomes arises from what? Are you giving the answer to this? You are moving in the future. Ribosomes, they arise from what? Endoplasmic reticulum, Golgi apparatus, nucleus, or mitochondria. What is the answer to this? Lysosomes arises from what? Do they come from mitochondria? Do they come from nucleus? Do they come from Golgi apparatus? Do they come from? Okay. Let me read your name. Marshika, draw. You draw? Okay. So B, we have answers as A, Golgi, A. Okay. Durga Devi is saying A. Neetu is saying also A. Joseph is saying Golgi. Okay. B, A, B. Okay. There is a lot of tuffle between A and B. So we have A versus B. What is the right answer? A or B? A or B is the right answer. You can't answer like that in your exam, A or B, huh? Okay, actually the answer is C. C. Look at this. Dhruv, how? Now A, B, anyone with the D answer? Huh? Okay, actually bacha, the answer is B. It's Golgi apparatus. I told you in the revision 5 minutes ago. It's actually Golgi apparatus which helps in making of lysosomes, which is the suicide bag of the cell. Yes, Santi, B. Great. It's B. Final answer. Okay. Next MCQ, bacha, we have the only cell organelle seen in prokaryotic cell is what? The only cell organelle that is seen in prokaryotic cell. It is 5 p.m. Jugal. Actually, every week I am coming live 2 times, one for the 9th class, one for the 10th class. 9th is on Wednesdays. Today is what? Today is 9th, right? So 9th is on Thursdays and Wednesday is for 10th class. Okay? Okay, Joseph. Great. Nice. Okay. We have prokaryotic cell, bacha. What are prokaryotic cells? Prokaryotic cells are the one which don't have nucleus. right? And they don't have then mitochondria as well. They don't have plastids. They don't have lysosomes. They just have ribosomes. Yes, great. They just have ribosomes. Every one of you is correct. So ribosomes is the correct answer. Class 10th is yesterday, bacha, Wednesday. Okay? Okay, great everyone. Dhruv, Sandy, every one of you gave the correct answer. Great. Okay, next question. Are you guys ready for the next question? Okay, let me see the next question. Here it is. Okay, which cell organelle plays a crucial role in detoxifying many poisons and drugs in a cell? We have Golgi apparatus, lysosomes, smooth endoplasmic reticulum, or vacuoles. Which of these? Yes, of course, Joseph. I teach physics, chemistry, and biology. All of those. Okay. Physics one shots are already uploaded on the channel. You can go see that, and I'll come live for that as well. Okay. Okay. Durga Devi is saying B and C. Santi is saying C. Dhruv is saying B. Okay, you guys. Smooth endoplasmic. Okay, Joseph is also saying C. C. Okay, Santi. Okay, that is C. Okay, C. Can we lock C? Lock the C option? Okay, that is correct. C option is the correct answer. Smooth endoplasmic reticulum, bacha, is the actual organelle that helps us detoxifying many drugs that might enter in our cell. Okay? That might enter in our cell. You are in class 10th. Okay, then what are you doing in this class 9th chapter, huh? You want to revise it again? Okay, next question, everyone. Next question we have, what is the next question you want? Okay, next question we have, which cell organelle is known as the suicide bag of the cell? Now this is very easy. This is very easy. Yeah? I have few questions, then I have a little more questions, kind of an activity for you guys, and after that if you have any doubt you can ask me. Okay, great, that's great, Santi, that's a great thing. Okay, which cell organelle is known as the suicide bag of the cell? C, lysosome. Okay, anyone else? Dhruv is saying lysosome, Santi is also saying lysosome. We have B or C in this question if you gave wrong answers. I'll be really mad. Joseph is also saying lysosome. Good. Okay, actually correct answer, lysosome. All of you are correct. Lysosomes are basically called the suicide bag of the cell. Now you do have to remember they come in like small circles like this, okay, and these are synthesized by what, or they arise from what? They arise from Golgi apparatus. They arise from Golgi apparatus. Done? And whenever a cell dies, whenever inside the cell, if any cell organelle dies, its work is to kill that died thing, already dead thing. Okay, next question, everyone, is the undefined nuclear region of prokaryotics are known as what? The undefined region of prokaryotes is known as what? Nucleus, nucleolus, nucleic acid, nucleoid. What is the exact answer? Do you know? This is a bit confusing. All the names are a bit confusing. Actually, the whole, this process, this whole is not confusing. Dhruv, the live is on Wednesday. For science, the live will be on Wednesday. Okay? For 10th. Yes. Okay, D. We have so many answers. Santi saying D. Kalaivani is also saying D. Okay, Joseph. Okay, great. D. Okay, we have the final answer as D. Okay, you guys are good. I have not gotten so many questions. You guys are giving the answers like this. My questions are empty. Okay, so this is nucleoid is the final answer. Okay, next question. Next question we have, which of the following cell organelle is present only in plant cells? Which of the cell organelle beta is present only in the plant cells? What is that? The cell organelle which is present only in the plant cells. That is mitochondria, plastids, nucleus, ribosome. Which is that? B. We have the answers as B. Okay, plastid. Sandy is saying plastid. Okay, Vani is also saying plastids. Okay, great. Anyone else who wants to challenge them? Repeat what? Should I log plastids? Ansh Gaming is saying hi. Who are you saying hi to, Ansh Gaming? Hi. Okay, great. So plastids is the organelle that is present inside the plant cell only. Great. So it is present in the plant cells only. Great. Okay, done. Good. Now I have one small activity for you. Before that, let's just quickly go through what plastids is. Okay, because that is an important topic. Plastid, where did it go? Plastid. Yes. So beta, the colorful part of any of the cell. Okay, the colorful part or the colorful plant organelle is what we call plastid. Done. Anywhere you see a colorful part, that is given by what? That is given by a something that is present inside the plastid. We'll study about that. Okay, so plastids are very plant specific and organelles, and they also have their own DNA, their own RNA, they produce their own protein, right? And they produce their own ribosomes. Okay, now these very much help in photosynthesis. How? So in plastids, these are of three types. What is chloroplast, leucoplast, and then we have chromoplast. Now this chloroplast you have heard a lot about, right? So the colored part of the flower, color plastids in the flowers are called chloroplast, right? And the inside the chromoplast we have something called chlorophyll. We have something called chlorophyll, which is helpful in, which gives the green color to the plant, right? And it also helps in photosynthesis. And then what is leucoplast? Leucoplast is simply which stores and synthesizes the food of the plants. Done with plastids. Okay, let's move on to a very important activity. Not an activity, just something that you need to answer. Okay, ready? Everyone ready? What are you answering to? B what? Ansh. Okay, now answer me this. First, what is the transporting channel of the cell? Which organelle? Now we have revised. Now we have MCQs, done the MCQs. Now you tell me which organelle is called the leucoplast, store oil, protein, sugar. Yes, correct, Santi. Bilkul. Correct. Okay, so now let me know the answer to these questions. Transporting channel of the cell. Which is the transporting channel of the cell? We studied about it. RER. The transporting channel of the cell. Bacha, I'm asking about the transporting channel of the cell. That is your specifically see. If you say RER, you will have to be very specific, right? So you can easily tell endoplasmic reticulum. It just answer normally, that is ER. Yes, endoplasmic reticulum, because SER is also kind of this, right? So this is endoplasmic reticulum. Very good. Now next, what is the powerhouse of the cell? Hi Joseph, welcome back. We have some questions for you. Fill in the blanks, questions. Okay, powerhouse of the cell. Which is the powerhouse of the cell? Hi Usha. We have some questions for you guys. These are the cell organelles you have to answer. Okay, what is the powerhouse of the cell? Okay, we have the answer from Santi. Everyone else? Usha is also saying mitochondria. Santi is also saying mitochondria. Anyone else with some different answer? Or we will lock the mitochondria as the final answer. Okay, Jugal is also saying mitochondria. Great. Mitochondria. Good. So powerhouse of the cell is what? It is mitochondria. Very good. Now bacha, what is the packaging and dispatching of the cell? Who does the packaging and dispatching of the cell? Which cell organelle does the packaging and dispatching of the cell? Of the cell? Not of the cell. Let's say inside the cell. Inside the cell or for the cell, right? Anything. Which one does the packaging and dispatching of the cell? Golgi body. Santi is saying Golgi. I like to say it as Golgi. Golgi body. Okay. Others, Golgi body. Joseph is saying again Golgi body. Mitochondria. Jugal. We have moved on to the next question. Okay, great. So the packaging and dispatching center of the cell is Golgi apparatus. It is Golgi apparatus. Done. You can write Golgi body as well, but it's better if you write Golgi apparatus. Okay, everyone? Okay, next we have digestive bag of the cell. Digestive bag of the cell. What is the digestive bag of the cell, everyone? What is the digestive bag of the cell? Plastids. Okay, we have one answer as plastids. So we are asking about digestive bags of the cell, bacha. We are asking about the digestive bag of the cell. Okay, Santi is saying lysosome. Other people, what is the answer to that? What is the digestive bag of the cell? Lysosome. Joseph is also saying lysosome. Okay. Any other answer? Who else thinks that lysosome? Okay, great. Jolly is also saying lysosome. Okay, but it's actually ly. So that is correct. Digestive bag of the cell is lysosomes, also called as suicidal bag of the cells. Right? Both of those have same answers, that is lysosome. Done. Now a question. What are the storage sacs of the cell? Which of the organelle is the storage sac of the cells? Which of the organelle is called the storage sac of the cells? You have answer for this. Anybody knows the answer to this? It's 5 p.m. Jugal. 5 p.m. 5 to 6 mostly. You can join, like subscribe to the channel. We'll post every day on what time which class will be there, right? Vacuoles. Okay, Santi is saying, Joseph is also saying vacuoles, Jolly is also saying vacuoles. We have one answer as chloroplast, bacha. It's storage sac of the cell. Storage sac of the cell. What is that? Okay, that is actually vacuole. Vacuoles are the storage sac of the cells, right? And they are present only one in number in plant cells, occupying 90% of the volume. And in animal cells, however, they are very small, but they are numerously present. Okay? Anshu is also saying vacuoles. Great. Now, kitchen of the cell. What part of the cell is called the kitchen of the cell? Which part of the cell is called? Yes, I read vacuoles. Now, which part of the cell is called the kitchen of the cell. Okay, we have one answer as chloroplast. Okay, plastids. Okay, we are actually talking about the kitchen of the cell, somewhere where proteins and where our food is synthesized. Okay, so that is both of these options, both of these answers are correct. Chloroplast is actually a plastid, right? Hi sick cloth, good evening. Okay, mitochondria, how is mitochondria the kitchen of the cell, bacha? Huh? Okay, so you can write chloroplast as well as you can also write plastids. Chloroplast is actually plastid, right? So you can write those. Done. Next and the last, we have control room of the cell, which is called the control room of the cell. Hi Aishi, Hiteshi. Why did I wrote Aishi? Okay, hello Flay. Ek to your usernames are so funny, I can't even read them. Okay, Cycloth is saying nucleus, the powerhouse, the control room of the cell. Okay, that is, okay, nucleus. Any other person? Scientist called nucleus. So there's something in my head, I don't understand. Okay, nucleus. Joseph is also saying nucleus. Okay, great. So the final answer, can we lock the answer as nucleus? Okay, great. So the final answer is in fact nucleus. Done? Okay, nucleus. Yes. So the actual, these are the correct options. Everyone, you can look at the, which book I'm reading. I'm reading your comments. I'm not reading any book. Okay, done. So the transporting channel of the cell is what? Its weight? Yes, 7 crores. Very good. Done. The transporting channel of the cell is what, bacha? It is endoplasmic reticulum. Powerhouse of the cell is mitochondria. Packaging and dispatching of the cell happens in Golgi apparatus. Digestive bags of the cell or suicidal bags of the cell are called lysosomes. Storage sacs are vacuoles. Kitchen of the cell is plastids or chloroplast. And finally, the control room of the cell is nucleus. Arey, what am I ignoring? Who am I ignoring? Flea. You said nucleus. Yes, I saw it. Yes. Flea gave the right answer. Okay, now any of you have any doubt regarding this whole chapter? Because after this I'm going to explain a very important topic, right? How many of you understand osmosis, and how many of you can tell me what osmosis is? Or let's say, what are the type of osmosis? Do you know? What are the types of osmosis we have? Which book are you reading, NCERT? Who are you asking, bacha? You obviously have to read NCERT. Okay, great. So let's jump on to the very important topic, beta, and that is what? Osmosis. Now osmosis, yes, Santi, that is correct. Osmosis is of 2 types. Now what are those types? Can you name those? What are those types? What are the 2 types of osmosis? That is, where is osmosis? Okay. We have osmosis, right? Now what are the 2 kinds of osmosis? Can you name those? endo and exo. Osmosis, movement of water through plasma membrane. Very good, Siklat. Great. So yes, we have two kinds of osmosis, that is endo-osmosis and exo-osmosis. Now endo is entering. So when water enters the cell, there is so many water molecules out there, right? So many water molecules out there, and there's high concentration, and here and inside the cell only two water molecules are there. So all the water molecules will travel from high concentration to low concentration. So all the molecules will come inside, oops, right? So they crossed a membrane, that is my plasma membrane, or in case of cell, but actually it is selectively permeable membrane. So if the water molecules go from outside of the cell to the inside, that is called endo-osmosis because it is entering the cell. And if water molecules go out of the cell, that is called exo-osmosis. Okay? Okay, Santi, you are in class 10th. Why are you watching this? Siklot is asking. Okay, movement of water or water molecule through selectively permeable membrane. In endo, particles enter, exo, particles leave the membrane. Very good, very good. Both of you are having a competition or what? Okay, now we have to study about actually this. Right? This is the important topic I was talking about. Now, before understanding this, how will you understand this? So, everybody will teach you what is hypertonic, where the solution is more, solid is less, and blah, 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 blah. Okay? We are going to do it in a reverse manner. How, ma'am? Okay. Now understand one thing. We are going to do it in a reverse manner and you will be able to understand better. Now, bacha, remember in hypertonic, we have R. Okay? We have R word, right? And in hypotonic, we have O specific word, right? So do you understand this? Basic. Okay? Okay, Jugal, today is your first class. Okay, then you are in time. We are understanding a very important topic. That is osmosis. The transportation of water molecules from higher concentration to lower concentration, provided that it passes a selectively permeable membrane, is called osmosis. Done? Okay. In hypotonic cell shrinks, in hypotonic cells, in isotonic cell remains the same. Very good. You are very good. Okay. You are also from 10th. I am doubting. You are also in 10th class. The way you know everything. So similarly, with hypertonic bacha, you have to remember that in hypertonic solution, your cell will do what? It will shrink. And how will you remember? The R in hypertonic, the R in shrink. Then you will remember hypertonic shrink, right? Okay, now in class 10, that is then very, very impressive. Hypotonic, now something when swells up, something then swells up, it looks like an O, it looks like, right? It looks like O. Right? So that means if the O is in it, hypotonic, then the cell will swell up. Right? Now let's move backwards. Okay? Usha, see, it's the basic physics of it. Whenever you see that you have a balloon, right, there's so much air in it, but if you leave the balloon, all the air comes out. Why? Because inside there is so much air and so much pressure. So air wants to move from more pressure to less pressure, from high concentration of pressure to high concentration of air to low concentration of air, right? Similarly, water and everything, you'll see every time you have a full glass of water, you have a small glass of water, you connect them, right? What happened? The small glass of water will start coming down, the concentration will come down and this will start increasing, right? Done. So that is the basics of physics, that everything goes from higher concentration to lower concentration in general. But if you give energy, you can send them from less energy to less concentration to more concentration, right? But in general, all the things travel from high concentration to low concentration. Okay? Okay, Azhar, I love your classes. It's the best. Thank you so much. You people are the one who make my classes best, right? Okay, great. Hi Abdul. Understood? Okay, now let's try to move backwards. How do we understand? See, when we move backwards, shrink means what? Shrink means that water is leaving the cell or water is going out of the cell. Going out of the cell. Understood? Right? If the water is going out of the cell, and we know in osmosis the normal transportation is from high concentration to low concentration. That means if water is going out, that means before going out, inside the cell the water is more, outside the cell water is less. Right? Inside the cell water is more, inside the cell water is more, and outside the cell water is less. So it will do what? It will move from higher concentration to lower concentration, higher concentration to lower concentration. Correct? So that means in hypertonic solution water is small. Water is small and water is always a solvent. So water is less and solute is more. Whatever the solute can be, we are not talking about it, right? But we are talking about solvent, that is your water. In hypertonic solution, the cell shrinks. It shrinks, that means water is going out of the cell. That means water goes out only when it has higher concentration inside the cell and lower concentration outside the cell. So it travels from higher to lower concentration. So that means before water went out, before the shrinking, the water was too much inside the cell and so little outside the cell. Now water is a solvent, so it is less in hypertonic solution and solute is more. Understood, everyone? Understood how you move backwards and how you understand that from that trick. Now see, in hypotonic we know the cell swells up. That means water is moving inside the cell. Water is going into the cell. And we know water will always go from high concentration to low concentration, right? So if it is going in the cell, that means inside the cell the water is less and outside the cell the water is more. Inside the cell the water is less, outside the cell the water is so much. Now water is what? Ma'am, water is a solvent, so solvent is more and solute is less. That's how you will remember, okay? In hypotonic, water is more at the outside, less inside, so water enters the cell making it swell up. Yes, I know you remember sick cloth, but this is just another trick to remember, okay? You come back from hypertonic and hypotonic. Done? You can remember this. Hypertonic means shrink because of the R and R in the shrink. Hypotonic means swell up because of the O and it looks like a swollen up person, right? So you move backwards from that. Understood? So hypertonic, and isotonic. Isotonic is simply nothing. I don't know why this is made. You will understand later. So it has same concentration of water inside the cell and outside the cell. So water will not move anywhere. Or whatever the water that goes out, the same concentration of water will come back inside the cell. Understood? That is basically the whole, what do you say, whole, I remember the word in Hindi but I don't remember in English. Okay, so that is the whole point of this osmosis. This is transportation, okay? Well, Jugal, you are very much asking this at a very good time because I just recorded one very small video for this chapter, understanding and explaining everything that is inside a cell, all the cell organelles. It will come out tomorrow or maybe a day after tomorrow, okay? So keep a watch, and the one shot is also very small. It's like 1 hour, 5 minutes. So you can quickly go and binge watch that, okay? Okay, if anyone has any doubt, let me know, or that is it for this chapter. Let me know if you want me to explain any other topic. I'll quickly go through all the topics for you, okay? So basically we started with structure of organism. So this whole organisms is made up of organ system from organs, tissues and cells, right? And then we studied about what is a cell. It's a basic structural fundamental unit of life, right? Everything is made up of cells just like bricks, and it's a basic fundamental unit. Then this is the history of the cell. You can take a screenshot, bacha, if you want, but this is the basic history of the cell chapter. Robert Hooke first discovered the cell, but it was dead. Then the living first cell was found by Antonio van Leeuwenhoek. From the L you will remember the living. Then Robert Brown came and he said that the nucleus actually exists. It takes a specific shape in the cell, right? Arey, I just told you what nucleus is. I won't tell you now. Did you talk like this? Go away. Okay. Then Matthias Schleiden and Theodor Schwann came. They said, Matthias Schleiden said that all the plants are made up of cells, but Schwann-ji said that all the animals are also made up of cells. So in eventual they're saying that everything on the earth is made up of cells. But Rudolf Virchow came and he said omnicellular e cellula. Okay, then that means every cell arises from a pre-existing cell. Okay, every cell arises from a pre-existing cell. Khaja bhai usko. Okay, done. Then we have a very important question we did, and now we know there are two kinds of organisms, that is unicellular organism and multicellular organism. Unicellular is made up of one cell, and multicellular, bacha, these are made up of more than one cell. What are the examples of unicellular organisms? What are the examples of unicellular? It's simply bacteria, yeast, paramecium, amoeba. All these are the examples of unicellular. Okay, I have recorded a one shot for this. If you want a detailed video, what is nucleus, what is cell, then go watch that. Yes, Joseph, good. I'm just giving a quick revision of what we did in the whole chapter, right? So for plants and animals, these are multicellular. Then we have all the different kinds of shapes of the cell, right? The sperm is the elongated, the nerve cell, the ovum cell, bone cell, blood cell, fat cell, smooth cell. Okay, I have a question. Which is the largest cell on this planet? Largest living cell found on this planet? You tell me. Ma'am, what is endocystis? Where did you learn that term from, bacha? Azhar, where did you learn that term from, endocystis? I'm actually unaware about that. Let me just quickly Google it. Endocystis was coined by Christian to include both the ingestion of large particles such as bacteria and uptake of fluids or macromolecules in small vesicles. Oh. Okay, so basically it is the process of when something enters into the cell. It's the process when something or any of the substance that enters into the cell, maybe the large particles, the small particles, all of that when enters into the cell, that whole process is called this endocytosis. Okay, I don't think it's there, maybe a line of it is present in your NCERT max, but yeah, it's good that you're curious. Okay, cell division is mitosis, meiosis, right? Simply, in one case cell is divided into 2 cells, in meiosis cell is divided into 4 cells, in mitosis, okay, we have here. Okay, so what happens? Who asked this question? Yes, Jyoti. How will the class continue? How will the class continue? The largest egg is the ostrich egg. Very good. So simply one cell is divided into 2 cells, and if this cell has 46 chromosomes, both of these cells will get 46 chromosomes each. But in meiosis, one cell is divided into 4 different cells, right? And each of these cells will get half the chromosome. So if it has, the original cell has 46, these will get 23, 23, 23, 23. That's the basic difference between mitosis and meiosis. Okay? Done. Okay, which is the smallest cell found? Smallest cell found on earth. Smallest living cell found on earth. That is what? Mycoplasm genitalium. That is mycoplasm genitalium. Done? So these are the 2 things you have to remember. These are important. Okay, everyone, I have already uploaded one shot of this chapter. There was already one live the last time we studied the chapter, and today we again studied the whole, we revised what's inside the cell, we did so many questions, so you can go watch all these things. Okay. Okay, next we studied about these components of cell: plasma membrane, cell wall, nucleus, cytoplasm, cell organelles. Plasma membrane, boundary of the cell wall is rigid, it's present outside the plasma membrane and it's only present in the plant cells. Nucleus is the brain of the cell, cytoplasm is the jelly-like structure, and cell organelles are different kind of structures. They all are performing their own work, right? Just like my kidney, my liver. Okay, Jyoti, the one shot is uploaded. You can go watch that. In that I have explained properly. Okay. Yes. Okay, it was endocytosis. Yes. Understood. I got your point. So basically the process of anything entering into the cell, food, oxygen, any of that stuff, large molecules, small molecules, that process is called endocytosis. Okay. Time over. Okay. Okay, Joseph saw that video, so Joseph understands. Then we have this whole structure of cells, like we understood these are Golgi apparatus, this is my mitochondria, this is vacuole, lysosomes, my nucleus, DNA, endoplasmic reticulum, cytoplasm, cell wall, plasma membrane. Done. So we studied all this, and after that we studied last time, very important, that is diffusion and osmosis. Whenever the substance goes from high concentration to low concentration, it's called passive transport, right? In diffusion, it is any substance that goes from higher to lower concentration is diffusion. But only water, when water goes from higher to lower concentration, provided that it passes through a selectively permeable membrane, that is called osmosis. Osmosis is of 2 types: endosmosis, exosmosis. Then we studied about hypertonic, isotonic solutions, and we studied it with a very important trick. Then we moved on to plasmolysis. Do you know plasmolysis? So plasmolysis, bacha, whenever you keep a cell inside a hypertonic solution, what will it do? It will shrink, right? So the water will come out. But whenever you keep a plant cell inside the hypertonic solution, it will shrink. But we know plant cell also has cell wall, so it is rigid. So the whole cell is shrinking, but plant wall says no, I will not move, I am rigid. Hi Tejasvi. Right? So what happens? Plasmolysis happens. Plasmolysis, this is the whole cell. You put it in hypertonic solution, this is starting to shrink. It has shrunk. But this cell wall, this outer cell wall is rigid, so it does not move. It remains like that. All the interior of the structure of the plant cell has shrunk, but cell wall is, I am not moving. Okay, so it basically happens due to water loss when a plant cell is placed in hypertonic solution. Done? Cell membrane shrinks, but cell wall does not, right? Okay, then we have one question. You care to answer, everyone? Plasmolysis will be observed in which of the following condition? Plasmolysis is observed in which of the following condition? Red blood cell placed in hypotonic solution, egg cell placed in hypertonic solution, Leaf cell placed in hypertonic solution? None of these. Yes, it only happens in the plant cell. Yes. C, we have the answer as C. Okay, we have the answer as C. Anyone else with any other answer? Okay, great. So I will take C as the answer because this is leaf cell. Plasmolysis only happens in the plant cells. For a P of plasmolysis, P of plant. So plasmolysis always happen in plant cells. Okay, bacha? Okay. Next we studied about what? Yes, Nibedita also saying C, Joseph C. Very good, very good. Full marks to all of you. Then we studied about nucleus. Nucleus is the brain of the cell. It is basically controlling everything that is happening inside the cell, the growth, the digestion, the transportation, the cell division, right? Very important part, it has double membrane. It has double membrane, and that is called nuclear envelope. That is called nuclear envelope, and it also has a jelly-like structure in it that is called nucleoplasm. That is called nucleoplasm, and there are small holes present on its surface. Okay, which lets the stuff enter and go out of the nucleus. Done? Okay, next we studied about what? We studied about DNA. It's just a double helical structure, contains all the information about my eye color, about the shape of my thumb, and all that stuff. Okay? Okay, that's basically was it. We have chromatin, chromosome. Basically, the DNA is like this. It's like loosely packed, but while cell division, it packs itself into a structure like this. Done? And we know in the nucleus we have 46 chromosomes. We have prokaryotic cell. In prokaryotic cell there is no nucleus, so DNA is just randomly here, right? But in eukaryotic cell we have a specific place for the DNA, that is nucleus, and it's only present inside the nucleus, right? And this region where the DNA is present, it's called nucleoid. It's called nucleoid. Okay, then we have some of the difference between eukaryotic, prokaryotic. Just take the screenshot if you like to. Okay, then we have very important. I have made a proper video of understanding and teaching all of this. You can go watch that one shot. Okay. Hi ma'am, I am Nikita. I have one doubt, how our skin will shrink when we wash a cloth for a long time. But that is a basic, also a little bit related to osmosis, but that's a different topic. Okay, we'll study about that. Don't worry. Ma'am, eukaryotic cell is advanced type of cells. Where do you get that? Eukaryotic cell, it's the advanced type of cell. You can say that because eukaryotic cell has its own nucleus. It has a brain, so can say that. Okay. Yeah, wow. Just because I said a shairi yesterday doesn't mean I'll say it today as well, okay? Okay, I just explained mitosis and meiosis, Tejasvi. Please go watch that. There's a one shot on the channel as well. Okay, and I've explained everything in this. Just the last thing, just the important points of cell theory. It is very important. They can ask you in the exam. That is what? You have to start with all living organisms are made up of one or more cells. The cell is the basic unit of structure and function in living beings. All cells arise from pre-existing cells. Omnicellula, e-cellula. Right? And this unifies all biology from bacteria to humans and explain life's continuity through cell division. This are the important points of your cell theory, right? And at the end we have a little bit talk about PCD, programmed cell death. What is it, beta? As we know that in our body, plant cells keep on dying, cells keep on dividing into new cells. So there is this balance that our body has maintained, that our cells die naturally. The cells that are not of any use now, because new cells are being made. So earlier cells used to go out, right? So they are died, and what happens? Lysosomes, right? So it is programmed cell death is a genetically regulated and organized process of selective cell destruction. Okay, it is essential for more normal development, cellular quality control, and immune function. This is very important. It's the new topic that's been added into your NCERT. So topic you can expect from this to come. Okay. Okay, and when an embryo develops, this is a very cool example. So it says that when an embryo develops in the fetus inside the womb of the mother, whenever you developed, so your hands were all webbed, there was skin here. So what happened? This PCD came in control, and it made the whole, it like killed all the cells that were there, that were stitching your fingers together, and that's why you have all these different fingers. Otherwise you'll have webbed what do you say, hands, just like frog. Okay, 10th bacha, 10th will be every Wednesday. Okay, as of now the frequency is a little bit less. We are also uploading recorded video, so you can go watch that. I've uploaded 2 chapters of physics, 1 chapter of chemistry, and 1 chapter of biology will come very soon. Okay, so you can go watch that. Okay, yes. Okay, that is it for this live bacha. I'll meet you in the next one. Tata, bye bye.